Ask the client.
Okay, good.
For me, not being a lawyer, still a long time in real estate. Now, I heard a very good word here, so I think it's about the right mix. Now, for our traditional corporate tenants, big users, they still, for the core business, I think will go for long-term leases. So we will still see those long-term cash flows for that. Now, on the side, I think the part of more flexible spaces, shorter-term options, I think that will increase, but it will not take over the majority. It's not like, in terms of disruption, it's not like all the big tenants will ask for one-year leases in the future. Because if you operate a big business, talking to the client's perspective, you cannot change your offices like every year. It's just too much work involved there. So also the big companies, they are looking for certain stability for the majority of their space. And again, then we will see more offers than on the site, either if we offer it on our own, basically to our tenants as a temp space, or as a co-working concept, or if we find cool companies as operators to join us in buildings, to take up some of the space also in a long-term lease, but offering short-term solution to our tenants. So again, I think it's about the right mix. I don't think that the general business will totally change in that regard, that we won't see long-term leases and cash flows anymore.
Swiss perspective here?
I would fully agree to this, and add again, I think on the space side, the trend is very clear to have as a single tenant for the corporates and for the co-working too. We need more open spaces, the flexibility inside for the tenant inside their contract. So the flexibility is key there. And perhaps, as we talked about it, to have a part like WeWork, a co-working space, some stores here inside our properties that fits for the corporate tenants too.
Maybe I can just add something. What we say is we should stop to bring digitization in our buildings, but we should start to bring our buildings in the digitized world. We should stop to just think individual assets, and that will be an aspect. I mean, why do you every building we have in Frankfurt is built the same, has the same infrastructure, and there's not really a lot of use for that. It would be a lot more efficient to share particular areas together and to be more efficient, to be more flexible, and that is the way we need to go, and we need to prepare our buildings for that, because I'm very sure that we're talking about autonomous driving in the future. There will be cars where we just step in and they will bring us from one place to another, and mobility is the only purpose there. It's not, is it a BMW or a Mercedes? It's just to be able to move fast and efficient from one way to another. And buildings will have, buildings as a service, real estate as a service means we have to open our buildings, because that is what sustainability also is about. It is efficiency, it is sharing, and we will try to do that, and that has a lot to do. Is it a single tenant asset for, I don't know, ECB, for example, will always tell us we need our security, we need our single asset, I don't want anyone in here, I don't want to share anything. But there will be a lot of other companies who say, I love to share because my employees want to collaborate, they want other people around, and we want meeting areas where other people can also be, because it is a lot cheaper and a lot more efficient. We will have to prepare for that.
So I think that's a good final statement here. Thank you for participating. My learnings are, for asset managers nowadays, it's not enough to take care of brick and mortar only. So you have to go deeper, you have to go closer to your tenant. But there's, as people are different, tenants are different, there's no one solution fits all. So you have to be very specific in what you deliver. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for listening. And please stay here for the next round of the Real Estate Innovation Forum Battlefield. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks to all the panelists. Before the Battlefield starts at 12, we have a very interesting project upcoming. It's the Smart Lease project presented by Commerz Real, by UBS and Osborne Clark. It's an internal project that we've developed at the BUILTWORLD as a network. We have been developing the project for the last 1.5 years. We have been presenting something last year already at Expo Real, and therefore I would like to welcome all the panelists. So please come on stage. Susanne Bonfig of Commerz Real, Where are they? Katharina Pedersen from Osborne Clark, Gedeon from Osborne Clark, and Christian Simonek from UBS, please, on stage. They will do it freestyle without any chairs, like a tech company does. Awesome. So please join our forum, and afterwards at 12 till 1 we have the 5 pitch sessions in the market category with blockchain startups and other B2B marketplaces from Hong Kong. So please stay in the forum. Stage is all yours.
Thanks, Jonas.
Yeah.
Warm welcome, everybody. Happy to present to you, to share with you our Smart Lease initiative. We are very proud to share with you what we did the last year. So we started with that initiative last year, shortly before Expo Real. And we decided to do that quite like a startup and to use collaboration, because we do think that at the end of the day, to change the world, you will not change it alone. You have to do it with your partners and in the branch. So we did it together with BUILTWORLD, with UBS, Christian Simonek, and with Osborne Clark. That means we were thinking about the most valuable process in the real estate business, which is, of course, leasing. And we said, well, how could it be that this leasing process is even more efficient? Because if you're thinking about that process, there are a lot of stakeholders, there are a lot of data and Word documents flying all over the world, but nothing is really very efficient. So we are giving you an update on the problems and as well what we figured out and worked on, and happy to join and to share.
Okay. Yeah.
But the slides?
Yep. And where's the click?
Okay.
Put it down. Here you go.
So I think all of us know that a lease is a pretty simple thing. I mean, we just have two parties here and just some data or some figures and some facts that have to be agreed. And at the end, there is kind of term sheet that comes out of that for the negotiation. And I think all of us know that even if you have a quite complicated lease, everything at the end has to be put on a one-pager at the end. It's kind of term sheet. I think it's the same for lots of investors and also for the huge tenants, that the decision makers, they want to have the one-pager to have a look at, and that's more or less the agreement. And even if you have that term sheet. On both sides, on tenant side, on the landlord side, and you could do more or less the agreement on a one pager. In reality, what is happening, all of us knows them as well. We have lots of physical documents that are coming to the world. Lots of partners, lots of lawyers are working on them as well, and lots of people are involved. And like property managers, asset managers, the brokers, the lawyers, and also with different departments on the landlord side and on the tenant side. And in parallel, of course, we have the data flow process, and often those processes are not coherent. And the question is why are we doing something like that? And of course, there is, sorry to say that's a lot of, say, stupid work for asset managers, for property managers, for lots of people involved. And this work, they should spend their work on more efficient things and things to create more value for our investors, and not something like that. And then it's also the time consuming. Lots of deals have been cancelled because of delay of those kind of processes with so many people and paperwork involved. And at the end, we have, with all those people involved, we have so many mistakes that could happen. And at the end, you all know the story of documentation and mass storage of the documents. So it's also costly on the lawyer side, on the storage side, data storage, and at the end we are all talking about artificial intelligence to somehow drag data out of the paper again. So the question is, why are we doing that? And that's why we are here to hopefully solve that together with you.
Thank you, Christian. Yes, from the legal perspective, in our branch we are reinventing ourselves as lawyers. We don't think that it's necessary to, oh sorry, wrong way around here. We don't think it's necessary to have all kinds of contracts for small spaces, so we can actually, in Germany at least, we could live with one contract type, same as we do already in other fields of the lease business. So also in the office lease, you could keep up with one contract at least for small spaces. So I don't think that we need like what I call signature contracts. What do I mean with this? I mean that we used to advise in the industry like private owners, and they like to have their own custom-made lease contract. And the branch and the industry has become more and more professionalized, and now I think as a branch we can live with one contract. So that's why I say standard is the new special. The advantage of German law is that you have everything written down, so that's why you actually can live with a contract of one sentence. I mean, to exaggerate it a little bit, but at least you need three data: the parties, the rental space, and the price. That's all you need, and that's what we like to discuss with you.
Well, our vision and the whole thing is, of course, no, it's the wrong side. Our vision is simplify and standardize outdated business. Think about your people, about your employees, what they have to do every day. It's administrative work and it's stupid work the people don't like. Just think of it. How do we spend our time with stupid things? Change it, standardize, just do it. We know that it's really basic work to do and it's a lot of work no one wants to do, but at the end of the way you can uplift really your asset management business, you can uplift value chaining your business and having time for these things that really are valuable and not stupid administrative work. What we want to show you now is the MVP we were exploring, and that you can already see how it could look like.
Right, thank you, Susanne. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you now through a live demo of an MVP that we built to illustrate the vision of the working group here. It's a cloud-based platform, and it starts with a dashboard which is fully configurable. You have certain key data here. You could have data analytics, a bit closer. Data analytics, you could browse different objects by, run analytics by object. But the core element, and that's what we just heard, is the process of managing lease agreements. So I'll simply take you through that process right now. So you simply, on the platform, click on Generate Lease Agreement. And this is kind of where the element that Christian just mentioned comes into play. We have data in all different systems, and the vision really is to connect the different systems. So I select the property I want to lease out, and then it pulls data from another database, which could be your ERP system, or it could be your asset management system. So it brings up the core data. For example, in this case, you have with respect to the unit in your building you want to rent out. You simply have floor plans that you could automatically attach to the lease agreement later on. You have the square meters, but also commercial information that you may store in your ERP system, like the minimum rent that you need to ask for the property. So in the process, you simply select one or more units you want to rent out, and then it selects it. So I'm going to spare you from me slowly typing here through all the fields that is required for lease agreement. I'm just going to show you an example with filled out data. Now, some of you will already have noticed, and it may be familiar with you, Christopher mentioned standardization of data fields. Now, if you look at the data model that is used here and the naming of the fields, that is aligned with a standard that is published by the GIF, the Gesellschaft für Immobilienwirtschaftliche Forschung. So it is this vision of the industry using one standard, which I will get to the main benefits in a second. So once all the data has been put in, you simply click here on Generate Lease Agreement, and then the platform just generates the lease agreements, pulling the data from different data sources. It's not only the data that is specifically relevant for this a particular lease, it's also the data that is required or that you have in your ERP system. So it generates a Word document. You just open the document and you'll see it's kind of the dummy data, of course, only for the MVP here, but it pulls certain data from other sources like the landlord or certain key facts of the property. Now, with all the data in this platform, you can imagine that you can do all sorts of things, data analytics, but, and this is also a very interesting part of it, think about trading of property portfolios. So if the industry is applying a harmonized data model, it's much easier and much quicker to process real estate transactions. So you could run reports for a potential buyer on a property or on the entire portfolio, which again is fully customizable. You can generate it as a PDF format, so you have a property portrait that you can generate here. But at the same time, and this is again generating the document in the background, and here you go, you have a property report, pulling data that you want to share with your potential buyer. It's the tenant mix, it's all core data that you may want to need if you are selling a property portfolio. Now, since the data is all there in machine-readable format and you're not in the need of using AI technology to extract it from hard copies, you can export it in any format like XML, or you can even export it as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, and then the potential buyer, if they are using the same data model, could run their financial model with that data that is exported, and they get a valuation, an accurate valuation at a glance. So I appreciate it's pretty disruptive for the consultancy business and the lawyers here in this room. But again, so it speeds up transactions. And think about the last step, the incorporation of your asset, your purchase portfolio into your asset management organization. If everything is standardized and you get the data machine readable, you can import it to your systems, and off you go. You have the ability to manage it right away without additional effort. All right, thanks. I'll switch over again to Suzanne to the presentation. So give me a sec. Yeah.
So, what we are looking for in our Smart Lease keynote today is we are looking for you, real estate community. We are quite sure that everybody is somehow having these problems, and somehow the solution is standard. We are quite happy here in the European business that we have associations like the GIF who worked already on a data standard, but we have to take it and to use it. It's basic work, true, but we can change and uplift our business. So what we are asking you all here now in the audience, please come to us, have your live demo, try it, use it, and please be in contact with us, take up with us we are going along this journey, and we really want to change it according to the lease journey to make something different. And we're open for your questions now and happy that you are interested. Any questions from your side?
This one?
Yeah, simple question. Simple question. Can you use this to begin new leasing? In other words, you're not drawing from a database. You just start creating new documents from this.
So yeah, so you're saying how do you initiate the process of a lease agreement, or?
No.
Sorry.
The example you gave was where you already have a leased property and you're drawing from your database.
Yeah.
How does, I would assume that it does, but can I just generate a fresh lease for property I don't have?
Yeah, I skipped that because of the time, because I'm not the fastest typer, but if you, I can go back here. It simply starts here real quick. And if I say generate lease agreement, it pulls up a dialog that is completely fresh. It links into existing databases if you have your property. But if you don't have that, that's fine. Then you just have to fill out more fields. But the vision, of course, is really to leverage for large asset owners and managers existing data. So what you do here, like the name of the landlord is always the same. So you don't have to type it in again, or it may vary from property to property. But of course you can from scratch build lease agreements here, again using the same data model and data standards. So you have this comparability and the easier way to trade properties.
Any questions? So, if you don't ask us now, please come to us. We are here. We are just on that corner and waiting for you, and happy to show you again one demo. Exactly, we're looking for partners to go ahead. Our contact details are as well in our presentation and as well in the Expo Real big panelist. So happy to have you.
Hello. Okay, now you can hear me. Great. Thank you guys for sharing the smart lease with us. Everything is smart today, everything is digital, everything is connected, intelligent. And that's why we have a great presentation for you coming up right now, which is the startup battlefield. It's the perfect way to spend your lunch break, right? So have a seat. We're going to present 5 of the top startups for you in the space of market. How do you market your solutions, market your real estate, commercial real estate, and it's going to be a nice competition here. So we'll have 5 short pitches, we'll have some Q&A, and then we're going to have one winner after this session. So if you're ready to relax and want to spend your lunch break with some action, stick around, and we're going to start shortly with our presentation. We have a jury here for you. We're setting up the stage. Also, the startups should get ready now because we're going to present shortly a selection of 5 startups. The process, how did these startups come here? We have a database and researched 1,500 startups over the last year worldwide, right? And we screened them, we interviewed them, they sent us some presentation material, we looked at their demos, and we selected 25 of the top startups. Okay, and those startups we are going to pitch to you today, and we're going to present 5 in the category of market. And then you, as an audience, together with the jury, get to select who's going to be the winner. And of course, the winner gets all the fame. Fortune will come a little bit later, but you will get all the fame from the Real Estate Innovation Forum Award. Okay, our jury is assembling here. I'll explain a little bit of the process. So my name is Christian Ehe. I'm going to be your host today. I'm doing the moderation. I myself am a startup entrepreneur. Last year I founded my 7th startup. And my startup now is called Share Your Space. It's an Airbnb for office space. And yesterday we announced that Commerz Real has invested in our startup. So very happy times for us. And I'm really happy to moderate this session with the startups here, because I know how difficult it is as a startup. You know, having the idea is one thing, right? But then building an organization, building a first product, finding a first customer, finding investment, scaling the business is really, really, really difficult, right? So we should also have some respect for the people who are coming today, because they only have 3 minutes time to pitch their ideas. Then we'll have a 5-minute Q&A session, right, where you get to ask some questions from the audience. We have a jury here to ask questions. Then you get to vote as an audience. Also, the jury will vote. And at the end of all the 5 sessions, we are going to see who the winner is. We prepared a little service for you. It's called Slido. So if you just go to the website with your smartphone, slido.com, put in the hashtag BuiltWorld. It's very simple. Then you can ask questions, and more important, you can vote for your favorite startup. And please vote. It's very important for those startups, you know, who are going to win. They can convince their teams. It's very good news for the investors. The customers like awards. So please take it serious and vote. Here's the website. You can easily go to it on your smartphone. You can vote for the startups and ask any question. Okay, if you're interested in the presentations given, you can just put your business card in one of those boxes up there, and we will email you all the pitch presentations. They're usually very good, they're very concise, they're on point, right? And to pitch a whole business, you know, the idea, the product, the team, the business model, you know, the future success in 3 minutes is very challenging. So it's also very good to see and learn from those startups how they actually do that. Okay, so I think here are our 5 startups today. We're going to go exactly in this order. So starting with Book, Consortio, Canvaran, Propy, and Store2Be are going to be those 5 presentations which we have here, each pitching for 3 minutes. Let me ask the team from Book to come on stage. So if Booked is ready, then please come on stage and check the technology, because we're going to be very tough on timing. Hello. Very good, very good. Nice to see you. Welcome to the stage. What's your name? David. David, nice. And you are actually from Hong Kong. Oh, busy. Okay, busy times in Hong Kong at the moment. So are you feeling some of the turbulences also in your business, or
actually,
we see all those pictures here in the news all the time?
It's been good for our business actually, because companies are not wanting to make long-term commitments, so they come to do short-term commitments.
Okay.
Which is actually, it's not a good thing for the for Hong Kong, but it's a good thing for us.
Okay, well, thanks for coming anyway.
Thank you.
In the turbulent times, and I hope you're enjoying your days here. When did you arrive?
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
You spend some time at the Oktoberfest and then came here?
Unfortunately, no. I'll have to do that next year. I think.
You should. It's a great way of spending your time here. Meet some Bavarian culture. Okay,
absolutely.
Why don't you get set up, see if everything works for you? And in the meantime, welcome to the jury. Thanks for taking your time coming here. We've prepared 5 great startups. If you could do a short round of introduction, just say a few words about yourself, we'd appreciate it. Would you like to start?
Hello. I'm Julia Alt. I'm the Global Digital Real Estate Leader at PwC, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia.
Duke Long Agency, United States of America, from yesterday. If anybody was here and they know what that means. Anyway, investor, private equity, and owner, and whatever.
Thank you very much.
Henrik, Norwegian. I work at WeWork as a director, but also do a PropTech initiative for the Nordics, so matching startups with the tech companies and doing a lot of events in the Nordic countries. So.
Lots of things are happening in the Nordics. Welcome.
Hello, Eugen Otto. I'm an old-style agent, property manager, and valuer. Dinosaur with 30 plus years in the industry. But looking forward into the future, and I think that's where we are now, where we'll be.
Bring in all your insights that you have from the past and challenge these guys.
Yes, but the question is, how important is the past for the future?
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later, probably.
You only know in hindsight, right? You never know ahead of time, but later on you understand how important that was.
Hi, my name is Christian Krieg. I'm a real estate consultant of CBRE, and I'm a member of the CBRE Innovation Group in Germany.
Okay, thank you very much. So thanks for joining us. We have a great panel, lots of expertise, lots of digital expertise, entrepreneurship, so really hardcore. And then we have you guys. So please participate actively by asking questions, challenging those startups, and voting for the best startup who's going to win our award. So a quick question to you, David, are you ready?
Always ready. I was born ready.
You were born ready. Are you nervous?
Vielleicht ambition.
Ambition,
yeah,
you
maybe
speak German too, okay.
Yeah, no
He's trying to win the hearts of you guys.
I am trying to win the hearts of you guys, absolutely.
Good, so we're going to start now our first session, right? 3 minutes of time, you have a little timer up there. I'm going to be tough on timing, right?
Yep.
You guys listen, note down your questions, and afterwards you get to vote and we'll have a little discussion. If you're ready for the first startup, put up your thumbs. Are you ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
50%. My last startup, that's a percentage of revenue I paid to rent this. I'm David, co-founder and CEO of Booked. And whether you're in a startup or you're a large corporate, rent hurts. It hurts your bottom line, it hurts flexibility, it hurts your ability to grow. Today, to rent office space, you go to a broker. That's long term. But what about short term? Say, an office space for a 2-month project in Hong Kong or quiet meeting room. Google it, ask friends for recommendations. Guess? Well, now there's Booked, a marketplace for tenants and landlords to find or monetize short-term unused space. Here's how it works. The client enters key information: location, number of people, type of space, amenities. Multiple bookings, just select multiple dates. Our algorithm takes care of, finds the spaces that match. You choose, book, pay, done. No fussing with long-term contracts, no searching hundreds of listings. On the supply side, we provide tools for landlords to market, manage, and monetize their spaces. Dashboards to create and edit listings, availability calendars, and we manage the entire payment process. In short, we transform landlords to be like WeWork, leasing out empty space, short-term, no obligation. We take 15% of each transaction. Clients pay us, we deduct our fee, and pay out in 15 days. We've grown to over 1,700 listings in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Shenzhen, the corporate and tech hubs for Asia. For demand, we work with over 35 enterprise clients with a monthly GMV of over $50,000 US. But that's just the start. Asia is already the largest market for flexible space. So here's our playbook and how we're going to grow in the next 24 months. First, we drive meeting room bookings. Everyone has meetings. They're high frequency and repeatable. Next, we upsell our office inventory. With monthly contracts up to 12 months, this is recurring revenue that stacks. We go deep in our core markets and expand worldwide. And the icing on the cake, events and services. Bundling partner services such as catering can actually double our transaction value, and we take up to 25%. So let's connect the dots. Massive market, preferred vendor agreements that lock in clients and lock out competition, broker partnerships, and a business model that creates multiple customer touch points that drive revenue and stickiness. These uniquely position us as the go-to platform for flexible space in Asia. I'm David. I've grown teams and grown business in Asia and Europe. My co-founders, Charles, deep operations background in private equity, and Ken, he actually developed the contactless car system being used by the Beijing Metro. Between us, we have 3 exits and 2 patents. We're Booked, the leading platform for flexible space in East Asia. We'd love to talk to you, have you part of our growth story. Together, let's take the hurt out of rent. Dankeschön.
Obviously, you haven't done it for the first time. Great pitch, right on time, on the dot. Very articulate. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Very good to see that. I do have a question though. When I look at it a little bit, and I know a lot of big corporations are setting up ship in Asia, and they have big office spaces which they're renting because they're expecting to grow, right? But how do you make that space available, right? Because isn't there a problem with security, with letting people in, data protection, being in the network?
Yeah.
Having them come in and out at awkward times. How do you manage something like that?
That's an excellent question. So, I mean, what I would say is probably about 40% of our inventory right now is actually co-working. We do work with corporates who have unused space, and that's actually something we're trying to develop further. And you're absolutely right. The whole issue of security, access, control, all the rest of that, that's very important. I'll give you an example. We work with Kayak, actually. They had this massive office in Hong Kong, 20% utilized. We actually had to sit down with them and work out the arrangements, how the security would work, what tables would be available, when the conference rooms would be available. So from that perspective, there is a bit of a consultative process that needs to take place, especially when you're dealing with corporates wanting to let out their unused spaces.
So you're getting pretty good rates already. See there? So that's the audience. You can see live how they're actually voting for you.
Okay,
and how it improves if you answer the questions well, or it goes down if you don't answer the questions well.
I better answer the questions well.
You guys can also ask questions here on Slido, but we also have our jury. So what do you guys think? Do you think this is promising? How would you challenge this? So what are your thoughts?
We have so global participation. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you.
And I would like to know, what's your main challenge?
Our main challenge, that is a very good question. I think as marketplaces, it's always finding that balance between supply and demand. Right now, I mean, I mentioned we have 1,600 listings. I'll be very candid, it's not enough. I would say that eventually within the next 12 months, we want 1,600 listings in Hong Kong alone and equally in other cities. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have enough space, there's not enough choice, you're not going deep enough in a market to be able to have available options for our clients to use the spaces. So I would say it's actually getting on supply.
Thank you. It's a very convincing pitch and very good presentation.
Thank you.
I heard a lot of these kind of similar kind of ideas from companies in Europe as well. And like, what's the competition like in this market? And how do you envision yourself coming, for example, to Europe and then getting space here?
Yeah, so I mean, to be very clear, we're not in Europe yet. We are perhaps thinking about possibly coming to this market. We see some huge opportunities. Look, I'd say in terms of competition, and we keep obviously updated and regular scans. There's a huge amount of what we call comparables in the United States, right? Breather, Liquid Space, and all others. From our perspective, though, if you look at Asia, it's actually weird because it's a bigger market, but there's actually fewer competitors. And the ones that are doing it tend to focus on sort of what we call one asset class. So in other words, they only focus on meetings, or they only focus on workspace, or they only focus on event space. What we realized we had to do, and what our clients were telling us, was that we actually needed to cover all of that, number one, because again, it's the whole idea of building multiple customer touch points. But secondly, we needed to manage the transaction. So we had to actually handle the transaction. Most other competitors that are out there right now, they're almost more like listing services, right? You go on and you get referrals, and then you have to go and talk to the space. They don't handle the transactions. We felt it was important, otherwise the disintermediation is just too strong.
We have some questions from the audience, David.
Okay.
So what other cities are you looking at maybe in the next 12 months, like in Asia Pacific?
The next 12 months, for us, I think there's probably about 3 or 4 cities that we're a market. So for us, it's about focusing on tier 1 cities, right? That's our sweet spot. So we're looking at Seoul and Tokyo in North Asia. We're looking to go down to Jakarta in Indonesia and down to Australia, particularly Sydney and Melbourne. For us in the next 12 months, that's probably 12 to 18 months, that's kind of our target for growth. Longer term, look, I mean, as I mentioned, we do see Europe being a highly prospective market. We'd love to be here at some point, but we need to go deep in Asia first.
Any more questions from the jury?
So you mentioned in your presentation about technology or patents. You have patents for this? What are those
Not
patents?
for this particular business. So the patents are actually on the, in this particular case it's Ken. So we're building in certain issues. I'll give you an example. So say we have a cafe with tables that are set aside for booked. The whole ability to check in, right, using NFC, to be able to then use the space, you get your coffee, then you check out, right? So there's certain technologies we're looking to build in there. There's actually patents that have been developed for that part of the business. It's not active right now in terms of what we're doing, because that's sort of the next stage in our expansion.
I guess that's the question I was asking. What is the innovation that you're doing technology-wise? Go ahead.
Sorry, I mean, you're talking long term or
Now and long term.
So for us, it's really, I think our main focus right now is really on being able to manage the transaction. So give you an example. Somebody makes a booking with us and being able to integrate the back end to whatever co-working operator that we're with, right? So in other words, the booking appears on their back end. That's something that, while it seems a bit mundane and boring, it's actually really important, right? It stops the whole potential for double bookings. It makes it easier for basically people to see what the bookings are and availability. Looking medium to long term, what we are absolutely looking to do, especially for workspace, is being able to build an AR, VR, right? So in other words, anything that we can do to move the needle so that people don't need to actually have that site visit for that 100-seat office, right? Anything we can do on that side, we want to push that. The other thing that we're looking at, and I say this with great care because there's a blockchain company, long term down in the future, we do see blockchain having application for us, but that's very
bullshit.
early stage.
That has nothing to do with it.
No, I would disagree because especially.
Fine. Good luck.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, let me explain what I mean by that, right?
I think that's. Thank you very much. It's a good
you gonna
topic,
cut me
right?
off right
but
there?
I have to
Oh.
cut you off
Okay,
right now
no worries.
because it's unfair to the other startups. I think good discussion.
I'm happy
you
to
can
have
take
that discussion
You do have a
afterwards.
booth out there, I think.
We do, yeah.
So you can visit Booked out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do let you know that we need to talk because I have a startup, Share Your Space, which is offering a service here in
Very
Europe.
good.
So
Want to talk to you.
we'll have some coffee or some beer later
Great.
on. Thank you
very
guys for
much.
your participation.
Thank
Please
you.
vote now if you haven't
Thank
voted
you.
yet. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, and a big round of applause for David to leave the microphone. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, startup number 1 from Hong Kong, Booked. Thank you very much for joining. Hello? Very well. And you? What's your name? Philip. Philip, okay. Grab a microphone here. Philip from Consortius joining the stage, and you're from the Netherlands.
Yes, correct.
So not very far away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you drive here, or did you fly, or take the train, or what?
I actually took a flight via Oslo
Okay.
because I've been
Via
in
Oslo.
between Spain and Switzerland the
Okay.
last week. So
Good.
I
We're
had
looking
to
forward
stop
to your
over.
story. So, are you ready? Is everything working for you?
yeah, this is the button.
Yeah. Click there to test it once, just to ensure, because you only have 3 minutes. And try the. Okay, now it works. Okay. You're all set. Okay.
Good to go.
Audience, are you set? Thumbs up if you're ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi Munich, I'm Philip, the CEO and founder of Consorto. Consorto is the first pan-European online marketplace for buying and selling commercial real estate. We connect sellers, buyers and investors worldwide. We are building a self-learning, automated digital platform that helps the transaction teams to source the next investment or to find the right investor. We live in times when information is exchanged instantly. But it wasn't until I actually became a real estate broker myself that I truly learned how broken and how difficult cross-border property search and deal flow can be. There is no unified system. There are hundreds of local websites in local languages, and the information on these pages is usually outdated or inaccurate. And to get in touch with somebody, you still have to use fill-out forms and then wait. So we did our research, saw an opportunity, and in 2018, Consorto.com was born. Finally, a single digital platform. Go and play golf and let our platform do the search for you. We allow our registered users to have a personalized digital dashboard where they can manage their listings and their wanted search requests. All the communication and deal flow steps and exchange is done on the single platform, and you can then handpick the deals you like and start negotiating a deal. Our product is live almost 11 months now, and we have property listings across 126 locations in Europe. What we have done so far is we have transacted close to 140 million in commercial real estate in 7 different locations. We have processed almost 7 billion worth of properties, and we have more than 500 professionals already using us. We focus on the mid-market, and our key markets are UK, France, Germany, Netherlands, Spain, but we have a lot of requests also for Eastern Europe, Nordics and Switzerland. Our business model is simple. You close a deal and we take a small transaction fee, 0.1 to 0.25% from the transaction. I have 16 years of real estate experience. I have a talented tech team based in Tallinn, Estonia, and since we just raised our seed round, our team has doubled in the last quarter and we're now 11 people. So, to summarize, recap, Consorto is the first pan-European digital platform for commercial real estate listings, and we use smart automation to connect buyer and seller side. And I'm Philip, the CEO of Consorto. Thank you, come talk to me.
Woo! Right on time. Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Impressive, another impressive presentation, great talk.
Sorry, I lost my voice, but I gained some customers. So
very nice, yeah, yeah. Good. So, quite impressive. So you have all the buzzwords like self-learning, it's automated transaction, it's automated deal flow, and you guys can play golf, right? So that was quite impressive. So how do you actually do that? So tell us a little bit about your magic. Like, what's your secret sauce exactly, and how does it really work? I mean, do you just get a lot of? I mean, how does it work for me as a user? How does it? How do you know? Tell us a little bit about what's behind the scenes.
I will do that. Thank you very much. The secret sauce is actually taking the simple activities that the brokers have every day and making it in one deal flow. So you can come and sign up, register, it takes less than 1 minute, or we send you a personal invite. You create a profile mentioning which are the locations of interest, what are the types of properties you're looking for, and what's your budget range. This is enough to start triggering automated connections, so we can instantly pull from the system which matches are there for you. And same you can do for the search. You can say, I'm looking in these 3 locations, this type of properties in this budget range, and the message goes out to the active sellers and the active brokers, and they all start sending in deals. And when it comes to the exchange of information, the listing person can select if NDA is required, if not required, if the data room is open or if it's closed. And you don't need to call somebody during the weekend and try and exchange NDAs for 1 week. And what you do is you just follow the steps, and you can monitor in each deal how far are you with this progress. And then once it's time, we will connect you.
So what doesn't work well yet in this whole process that you just described, right? Because if it were to work as you described, then we all wouldn't have to do this business anymore, right? So where are the challenges?
Well, 47% is the number that cross-border investments reached last year, but getting access to the data still to convince these sellers that you don't need to keep everything super off-market, and you don't need to wait 2 weeks just to give us the basic numbers for the investor to evaluate the deal. So the challenge is for the property sellers and brokers to understand that it's time to create a more open co-brokering communication network.
So industry experts, I mean, you've been in the industry for a very long time. What do you think? What are your questions to somebody that says everything is going to be self-learning, automated, playing golf?
My question is, how do you verify that this is a trusted marketplace? In my case, or my experience, not being a broker, I really think so much is on personal relationship and on trust base. So how can you verify the same trust on an online marketplace?
Thank you very much for the question. For this, we still use humans. These 2 guys cannot play golf because they have to verify the person and they have to verify the listing information. So a transaction manager makes sure that the data is accurate, and the account manager makes sure that the person is real and an active real estate professional before they get access to the platform.
How do you avoid to have a collection of poor dogs?
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we try our best that we only connect once the information is already worked through, so that the buyer knows that this is what I'm looking for, and the seller has got the mandate and it's active and the asset is really available.
I mean, how do you check the quality of the offers?
Okay, well, this is again, like I said, a manual inspection. We have real estate professionals that we hired as transaction manager, and they review the details of the property before it goes live.
And third question, how do you make sure that you get paid?
Okay, we sign a business contract before the 2 parties are connected, online.
We have a question from the audience here. Right there, it's already digitized for you, so you can relax, play golf, and answer the question. customer lifecycle value?
Yeah, well, cost of acquisition is difficult to actually define in the sense that I'm here and I made a lot of new customers, or we do a marketing campaign, or we go directly to the client. So I cannot give you a specific number. Now, it's usually a long-term play. It's not that somebody does a one transaction. It's either real estate brokers, asset managers, or developers that constantly have a need. So the lifetime value is, as long as they're in the business, we can be of value to them.
Last question, how do we comply with money laundering regulations? That's very important, we're a very regulated industry.
Very good question. That's why we did not get involved in taking monies. We only take fees for our side. So the notary pays the brokers and pays us.
Thank you, Philip from Consortio. Big round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us from the Netherlands. Thank you. Thank you. If you are interested in these presentations, please put your business cards at the end in those boxes, and we will send those presentations to you, so you can review them, share them with your team, or see how good you can make a pitch in only 3 minutes to communicate a whole concept. We're moving right along in the startup battlefield for the market, and we have the next startup coming on board from Germany, which is Convaron. And you'll explain to me how you pronounce that well, right? Convaron. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm sure you'll explain that. Take a microphone. What is your name? Joachim. Joe. Okay, Joe, welcome. Thanks. Where are you from in Germany?
We sit in Berlin.
In Berlin, okay.
Yes,
so not very far, so you could take a train probably, right? CO2 saving train. Good.
Exactly.
Excellent. Good. So are you ready? Is everything working for you? Do you want to test your slides?
Yes, I could just test the slides.
You'll have 3 minutes. I'll be tight on time. In the meantime, I'll check with the audience. Nobody's looking at their smartphone, so quite some attention. Almost no one's looking at their smartphone, so be ready. You let me know when you're ready to fire off.
How do I click?
You have a clicker right there on your left, so you can try that to the left and to the right. Yes, all set. Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, my name is Joe. I'm from Convaron, as he said. And I'm in charge for sales and business development. So what is Convaron actually doing? We are specializing in virtualization. And what do I mean with virtualization? Well, imagine you would build a building or plan a project within your real estate portfolio. You would actually plan this on a floor plan. So now it's not working. Now here it's working. On a floor plan, something looking like this. And you might agree with me that this is quite complex. And if you would like to pitch your idea about how your building is going to look like in the end, it might be quite challenging to present this picture. Well, so the question is, wouldn't it not be easier if you could tour your counterpart through the building just on the basis of this floor plan, so he could experience the building by himself and see what you might see how the building is looking like in the future? And this is exactly the answer what we are trying to give while producing 360-degree videos within a short time of 60 minutes on the basis of a 2D floor plan. So how does it work? You would send us your floor plan and we would digitalize it. Step 1. Step 2 is you would access by entering your password to our account or to your account on our platform, and you would get to this page. This is the area where you can configure and edit your floor plan in terms of height, positioning of the window, door type, and etc. And as you can see, it's just a few clicks away from your video, and it's quite simple. And the fun part is you can do this anytime and any numbers by just selecting, editing, and pressing the release button. You might now ask, how do you manage to produce a video on a floor plan within 60 minutes just on the basis of a 2D floor plan? Well, to be honest, I don't have any clue how they're doing this, but what I understood is that we're using different kind of algorithms which understand the architectonical information of the floor plan. So, and with the information you send us in addition, we process the performance of the rendering of the videos. So we get just in a few minutes later a notification that your video is ready to play. So this is how it's going to look like, and I don't know if you have got internet. That's why I took some pictures out of the tour. Ah, it's working. So you're walking through the window.
Time is up. To show that last video?
Yeah, we're showing through the video.
5 more seconds?
Yes, exactly. And why is the reason you would work with us? Reason one is this is working full automatization. It's personalized, and we can scale this in high numbers.
I have to cut you off. It has to be fair. It's a competition. So a big round of applause to Joe. Thank you very much. You guys can vote now. We'll have a Q&A session. So who are the customers? Who's actually doing that? And how many customers do you have? And is it more like a small kind of business or just a large enterprise? So who's using your solution today?
Today we have big corporates who have high portfolio real estate in their portfolios, high numbers of real estate, because we are using automatization, so artificial intelligence, as I said, with our algorithms, which are helping us to scale this up. So big, large corporates are using this.
Do they do a lot of buildings and a lot of plans with it, like serial manufacturing, like a lot of, is it high volume, or is it just specific floor plans every once in a while?
Yes, it's actually it's currently specific floor plans, because the fun part is that we have the data of the building anyhow, yeah, because we understand the floor plan, and what we can do is the analysis of the floor plans later off. So they use this in addition to get this information, because what we extract is the data, the road data, for example, and which you can use in addition to build 3D pop-up models. So you can turn it around and use it for project building, and this is the fun part.
Okay. What do you guys think? Julia,
please elaborate a little bit on the team, and also what is your USP? Because I've seen so many other companies who do exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah, our USP is that this is working full automatization. So you just send us the floor plan, and we have got the computer which does this. We don't have to walk into the building, just send us the floor plan, and it works automatically because the algorithm understands what is in the plan, and we can scale it up. The team numbers currently, we have the largest part of the team are IT developers. We have 9 of them, and in total we are roughly about 39 people.
We've seen a lot of these visualization tools, but actually the hardest part is often to get this info into the data set. So it's so you can do it in, was it 60 minutes?
Exactly.
You do the whole 3D rendering as well now.
The 360-degree rendering is in 60 minutes. Yes, you send us your portfolio, we scan it, and 60 minutes later you can press on the play button and you can walk through the building.
That's impressive.
How do you make money? What do you charge?
For the videos or for the entire? We have different types. It depends on if you want to have a small corporate, small and mid-sized corporate, which for example are asking on demand. Then we have a price for one video, 129 euros. And if you have a big, large corporate with 1,330, let's say, just to put a figure in the room, you usually have they usually have a bigger package, because they do not only want the videos, they usually want more information about the building than just the videos. This is only for exposé reasons. And then we have, of course, a different fee.
What about furnished videos? That was a question here from the audience.
Yeah, furnished videos is also possible. This is a scale-up. So this is a personalization which we can do. So we could do furniture later on, and even the ceiling or the walls we could personalize, yes. But this is an add-on. It's not automatically.
Is there any service you'd like to offer ad hoc for your company? Any additional service like interior design or furniture sales?
No, and in the current situation, or let's say, as I said, the USP is that we can do this in large numbers. And that's why this would be an add-on for high-end real estate, and that would be a demand solution. And for a corporate which has more than 100 different portfolios or buildings in its portfolio, this is not interesting.
One last question? Please.
You have been around some years, since 2015, if
Right.
I understand right. So how many clients do you serve presently? In what countries?
Yes, we are focusing on the German market. The largest corporation which we have is the Deutsche Wohnen. And we have currently smaller project with other real estate companies, like, for example, let's say property owners currently. And we have in this, I think, in total 3 smaller ones. And we're now looking forward to do this in the commercial area, because this is a bit more tricky.
The good news is you guys can try it out now, so bring your floor plan to Joe at the booth. He's showing everything there. You can send it to the team and probably make it happen, right, Joe?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
come on.
Excellent. So just try out the service.
Exactly. Just
thank you
right
very
over
much.
there.
A big round of applause to Joe.
Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.
No, thank you. And if you can put it here. Thanks. Okay, we're going to move right on. Action-packed. We have a full crowd, full house for the lunch break. And we're going to zoom right on to the next startup from Bulgaria, which is called Propi. Hello? Welcome. Hello. What's your name? Nick, nice to meet you. You have a microphone over there, so get set up. And let me check with the audience. Thumbs up if you're ready for the next startup. Okay. Thumbs up. Are you ready? Is everything working for you?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay, so are you nervous?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. That's a good sign. Let's see. You have 3 minutes. You have a little clock there. I'm going to be tight on time, so...
All right.
Ready?
I'll do my best. Yes.
3, 2, 1, go!
So 2019 is a notable year for online retail, as it's the first year that the online retail market share has actually overtaken the traditional retail sales, and we probably think that it's time to bring real estate sales online. In 2019, you can buy pretty much anything online, from groceries to ordering a custom-made car, but you cannot buy real estate, which frankly just makes the market that much slower to move. So because of the lack of online technology in the sector, it's also prone to a lot of fraud and delays and inefficiencies. That's why we're trying to tackle this problem by integrating with the best in the business. There's a lot of great technology in real estate, but there isn't a single platform out there that does everything from the initial signings up until the final recording and the ownership transfer. This is what we're trying to do. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're working with already existing great platforms, and we're trying to bring all of the best players in the same place in order to ensure that you don't need to use over 20 tools per deal, but instead all you need to do is just go to Propi and purchase your property. The global real estate market is 18 trillion, and the US alone is close to $2 trillion. And we believe that if there is a solution that lets you buy and sell properties in real time online right away, something similar to Airbnb for property sales, that would definitely increase the market size quite a lot and make it much more liquid. As I mentioned, we are starting everything from scratch. From the paperwork, we process all the paperwork online. We secure the payment, and at the end, we even interface with counties and local registries. So thanks to our platform, you can save on transaction coordinators. We are fit both for agents, brokers, and developers, as well as end users like buyers and sellers. We provide a unified, secure global interface, and thanks to our blockchain integration and the use of Ethereum smart contracts, we are confident that everything that's done on Propi is properly recorded and everyone is compliant and secured thanks to our technology. We are already working with multiple large-scale organizations, and we are moving forward to creating this global property marketplace. As you can see, we provide a simple interface which is straightforward. It's global, it guides the buyers, it significantly reduces the reliance on agents while helping agents focus on what they do best, sell and find more buyers. Here you can see a bit more about our traction. We have already closed over 100 transactions on 3 different continents. We have over 100,000 people in our community and 6 billion in video.
Thank you very much.
Robbie, thank you. Oh, the jury's getting ready. They're already fighting for the microphone. I'm sure they have a lot of questions. You said Airbnb for property sales. I didn't quite understand that because Airbnb you don't buy anything, right? You just
yes, but essentially
rent
you're
the space,
able to rent your apartment through an app right away. So you don't need to meet the person, you don't need to know the person, you don't have to sign anything. You can do anything online. So if you're renting your place right now, it would be much faster to do it through Airbnb rather than drafting up a short-term lease, sending it to the buyer, to the tenant, so he can sign it and mail it back to you, and you can start a rent. So that's what I meant in terms of improving efficiencies.
Okay, so and everything happens online, right? So you do everything online, and also the companies that you've transacted with now, they've not gone to the building or looked at the places, or?
Well, when addressing the buyer, usually the profile of the buyers using our platform as a marketplace is a second home buyer. So usually it's not their first house. It's either a vacation or investment property. But the big value that we bring is actually to the professionals in the industry, like agents, brokerages, and developers, as we provide a unified, streamlined interface that they can use for their transactions. And they can see real-time information about how things are going and get real-time insight.
Two questions. First one is, you're founded over 4 years ago, and when I understand you have done 60 transactions. What's your business model? How do you make money?
Yes,
That's the first question. Go ahead.
Yes, unfortunately I couldn't get to that slide as I had too many, but our business model varies depending on the user. So if we're selling to agents and brokerages, we're using a traditional SaaS model with a subscription per license. So for example, if you have 10,000 agents with $30 per month for 12 months, that would be $3.6 million for us. And for developers and builders who are doing transactions in larger volumes and usually in shorter timeframes, we are bidding on a per transaction basis. So as an end user, you can be billed on a per transaction basis and you don't have to bother with a subscription.
And for what do you really need blockchain, or is it just a marketing gag?
It is not a marketing act. We are actually recording every single step on blockchain. And the reason why we need smart contracts is to make sure that none of the participants in the transaction can go around the others. And everyone is properly informed about what's going on, and all the actions are properly and immutable recorded on a decentralized ledger.
Yeah, and to elaborate on that point, I wrote an article about blockchain in real estate in 2017, and I actually wrote about you. Guys says you did the first blockchain transactions, but the messaging seems to have changed a little bit. Like you're focusing more on the platform and less on like the blockchain tech, because you're pretty pioneer in blockchain, really.
Yeah, so initially when we started, our approach was B2C. So the reason why we have 60 transactions is because we were trying to cover pretty much most of the common legislations and locations. We have closed transactions in the US, in Europe, in the EU, in several countries, and in Asia as well. So we were going slow and we were making sure that everything works everywhere. And that's why we are somewhat changing the model now, as we are going for a B2B sales for, as I mentioned, professionals and developers.
That's also a question from the audience. How do you deal with the various legislation across Europe? So how do you do it? You said you deal with it. How?
Well, it's in phases, honestly. There's a lot of outdated process in Europe, and some countries definitely need to make legislation changes in order to enable complete online closings, and that's something that we know of, and unfortunately something that takes quite a while to change. One of our products is actually a decentralized blockchain title registry, which is already live in 2 counties in Vermont. But even there, it took over a year of pilot program and development in order to actually launch it. So with governments, some changes need to be made across Europe, but in the countries that we've done transactions in, online closings were possible.
How large were your 60 transactions money-wise? What was the purchase price?
Money-wise, in total, we have about 20 million in the pipeline right now. I can't give you an exact number for 60 transactions, but I would say probably about 30-ish million. I don't know. We've done most of our transactions have been focused in the Bay Area, where property prices are usually over 1 million each. So I'll have to double check and get back to you on that. But we're dealing with, our last transaction was $3 billion apartment in San Francisco.
Okay, time is up. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Proppy, one of the pioneers in blockchain. Nico, thanks for joining us. Thanks a lot. Yeah. You'll come back on stage shortly because we have one more startup, and then all the startups are going to join us here. So the next startup, also from Germany, Store2Be. Hello. What's your name?
Toby is my name.
Toby. Welcome. Yeah, but you have a loud voice, though.
Yeah, loud voice.
To take the microphone, though. So check everything. You'll have 3 minutes of time. You're the last presenter, and now you can rock the audience, right? So just right after that, we'll collect the votes. So good luck. I don't think so. I think take this one. I think that's
Okay. So
jury, are you ready? Yep. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Perfect. Hello Munich. I'm Toby from Store2Be. We're a startup based in Berlin, 4 years old now. We have a bold claim. We say the old business model of retail is dead. And it won't differentiate itself just by pricing. So we need to rethink retail, and we need to move from point of sale to a point of experience. Therefore, we built the marketplace for live marketing spaces on a short-term rental base. You see some clients of us, and you see some of our supply partners, how we call the people that supply us with spaces. This is how such live marketing can look like. We brought together BMW and Sportcheck, which had a shop-in-shop. We had Casper mattresses together with multiple shopping centers, so people that were tired from shopping could have a rest and try out new mattresses. You know, our first or core product, which is our booking platform, but we also have two enabling products called Space Manager, through which you can actually manage your spaces, your bookings, you can see availabilities, you can manage prices and so on. And we have event analytics in order to analyze marketing campaigns. This is how we measure or how we get our event analytics. We actually shrunk this tool by 90% now by a shift of supplier as well. And we not only measure how many people you interact with, but we also created 2 KPIs called TIM and TIM-E. This is because we know how important the time spent with your customer is. And so we're shifting from a quantity of interaction to a quality of interaction. Because live marketing is the only form of marketing which is multi-sensory and builds up live marketing experiences, we figured that about 50% of the current marketing mix will shift towards different forms of marketing. And one of these obviously is live marketing. And because of that, we think that your spaces will generate a lot of revenue, which you might have felt be dying, as in shopping centers, sometimes even in airports, rents are going down, and that's why we're in this business.
Good. Thank you very much. Store2Be. Okay, thanks. So, if I understood it correctly, I mean, these spaces are very individual, right? So if you see BMW and Sportcheck collaboration, so are you helping them set up everything? Are you helping them define the space? How do they agree? How difficult it is? Is it like a very people-intensive business, like an agency, or how does that actually work?
Yes and no. So we don't help them build up anything on that space, but we can always, through our network of advertisers, help them to find someone who's proficient in building, for example, the shop-in-shop concept. We do sometimes work kind of as an agency because sometimes we have huge road shows. As you have seen, we work with Nestle and Procter & Gamble, so that's often not a one-time thing. And this often needs some manual labor on our part. But generally, you're able to go on our location finder, which is how we call our marketplace, and actually book the spaces yourself. You'll see when it's available. You can upload your concept, your marketing concept, and the landlord can decide whether he'll accept the concept or not. Because obviously, we are aware of the fact that if you rent out a store to Nike and Adidas wants to do a promotion in front of it, that's not going to work.
Okay.
Could you please say something about the background of the team? Do they have profound retail experience?
We have a team of 53 people by now, so that's a hard question to answer. We have some people, especially 2 of our founders, which have a business background. We have 2 which have a tech background. We have about 10 people which actually come from marketing agencies that have shifted to us, and we have about 8 people which have real estate proficiency.
Do vote now, please, because this is the final startup. Do vote. We'll have the celebration in just a few minutes, so please do vote, jury, and you as well.
Please, the business model. How do you make money?
We, on one hand, get a share of the space owners for bringing them new customers. We also get a handling fee of 80 euros per booking.
They like you in the audience, huh? It's pretty good.
That sounds nice.
More questions from the jury?
Yes, one question. Your product is our existing shops who have space for something else and empty stores as well.
Exactly. There's a mix. It could be a public place which is rented out by the city department. It could be an empty store inside a shopping center or a mall or an airport or whatever. It can also be those spaces right in front of stores which are still owned sometimes by the landlord.
And I had a friend at the startup who did this similar kind of thing, and this was very popular, but his problem was he couldn't find enough space because they were booked out immediately. So how do you source all this space?
We right now have a set 8 people working in portfolio management, which are in current contact with every possible supply partner we could have. We have currently about 8,000 spaces online, of which I think 6,000 right now are actually bookable online. The other 2,000 are only bookable through manual labor, as said, when we have bigger projects.
Very impressive.
This is only in Germany, by the way.
One question: in what countries are you active right now?
We're live in Switzerland, Germany, and Austria. At the moment, we're looking into Benelux states and the UK.
Okay, everybody cast your vote, because now we're going to move on to the final presentation. We probably still need a few minutes, but let's give yeah, you stay here. A big round of applause. Thank you very much. Stay right here. So now we're going to do the final element of this pitch. We're going to see who won, right? So I would like to get all the startups to come back on stage. Please, jury, stand up. We'll take a nice little photo. And we'll see live in the background who won. So you saw 5 great startups present in only 3 minutes. A lot of information. If you're interested in the pitches, please put your business cards back there. In the Real Estate Innovation Forum, we have another session this afternoon at 16:30 to present 5 more startups. So if you like this format, join us again at the end of the day. There'll be some drinks over here at the end as well, so come back to our booth. You can visit all those startups here on the booth, right, which present, and there are even more startups who do take some time to look at their solutions, and you can even try some of them out. Jury is ready. Now we need to get the startups back on stage. And we need to get the award on stage, and maybe somebody to present the award from the Real Estate Innovation Forum. So let's see when they come. Are you guys ready back there? All the calculation is done, the bots? Looks good, thumbs up back there. Oh, here it comes. Do you want a microphone? Let me give you a microphone. Oh, and the winner is? Who's the winner?
Winner is
it is tied.
Store to Be.
Store to Be, congratulations. Woo! Guys, come take a photo. Taking the photo, you guys look here. Just a minute for the photo. It's fame. Fortune will come later. Okay, thank you guys for joining us. We'll move right on with the program. Thanks for your time and see you soon.